Welcome to today's lecture. Today we will be studying about the histology of the kidney. Kidney is the retroperitoneal organ which is located in the posterior abdominal wall. Each kidney is having a fibrous layer which is covering it, and it is called the capsule. Each kidney is a bean-shaped structure which is having a convex lateral margin and concavity in the medial side, which is known as hilum. The structures which are present in the hilum are renal artery, renal vein, and the renal pelvis. If you see the sagittal section of this kidney, it is divided into outer, that is the outer cortex, as well as the inner medulla. So in this inner medulla, you can see here, that is the cone-shaped renal pyramids which are present. So the medulla surrounds the renal sinus. So here you are having this empty space that is called the renal sinus. So this medulla is covering the renal sinuses. So renal sinus is a cavity inside the kidney which communicates outside through the hilum. So this portion is the hilum of the kidney. So in this hilum, you are having the renal pelvis, renal artery, then the renal vein. So the renal sinus communicates with the outside through this hilum of the kidney. So this renal sinuses, it contains the renal blood vessels, lymphatics, fat, and minor calyces. So these are the minor calyces. So these minor calyces, they join to form the major calyces. So what you are seeing here, so they are the major calyces. So they empty into a single renal pelvis, which in turn drains into the urethra. So here you are having the renal pelvis which is draining into the urethra. So this renal pelvis, it is the upper expanded part of the urethra. So the upper expanded part of the urethra. Within the renal sinus, the pelvis divides into 2 to 3 parts called the major calyces. So these are the major calyces. Each major calyces will divide into a number of minor calyces. The end of each minor calyces is shaped like a cup. So you can see the shape of the minor calyces. They are appearing like a cup shape. So the apex of the renal pyramid, called as renal papilla, fits into the funnel shaped cup structure of minor calyces. So this is the renal pyramid. So from the renal pyramid, the apex of it, that is called the renal papilla. So this portion, the apex of renal pyramid, is called the renal papilla, which fits into the cup shaped structure of minor calyces. So if you see in this diagram, so this is the outer, that is the cortex, whereas this is the medulla. If you see the medulla portion of the kidney, it is made up of triangular areas of renal tissue that are called the renal pyramids or the medullary pyramids. So each kidney contains 10 to 15 medullary pyramids. Each pyramid is having a base. So this is the base, whereas this is the apex. So the apex was called as the papilla, renal papilla. So each kidney is having the base which is directed towards the cortex. Its base is directed towards the outer cortex, and the apex or the papilla is directed towards the renal pelvis. So this portion is forming the renal pelvis. So it is directed towards the renal pelvis. So the pyramid shows striations. So what you can see over here. So these are the striations that pass radially towards the apex. So the radiations, you can see it is passing towards the apex. There are thin projection of medulla from the bases of medullary pyramid. So what you can see, this is the base of the pyramid, whereas these projections, what you are seeing, which is passing from the base towards the outer cortex, and they are called the medullary rays. So these are the rays, that is the striations, what you can see, which is passing from the base of the pyramid towards the outer cortex. Now coming to the nephrons. The nephron is the structural and functional unit of the kidney. Each kidney is having around 1 to 4 million nephrons. So the major part of the nephron is present in the outer cortex, whereas a small portion is present in the inner medulla. Each nephron consists of renal corpuscle, also called as Malpighian corpuscle, and a long renal tubule. The renal corpuscle consists of Bowman's membrane and the glomerulus. So in this diagram what you can see, this entire thing is called the nephron, which consists of the renal corpuscle or the Malpighian corpuscle and the long renal tubule. So the renal corpuscle, what you are having, it consists of Bowman's capsule. So what you are having is that's the Bowman's capsule as well as the glomerulus, which together we tell it as the renal corpuscle. Now coming to the Bowman's capsule, what you are seeing here, so it is the blind beginning of the nephron. So it consists of two layers. So outermost, that is this layer, that is the parietal layer, and the innermost, that is the visceral layer. So in between these two layers, between the outer parietal and the inner visceral layer, you are having the space what is present here. That is called the urinary space. This space what you are having over here in between, that is the urinary space, it is also called as the Bowman's space. So this parietal layer what you are having here, it consists of simple squamous epithelium resting on the basement membrane, and the visceral layer what you are having here, it is having a cells which is called the podocytes. So in this enlarged view what you can see, so this was the Bowman's capsule, this was the glomerulus. So the layers you can see here, so this is the parietal layer and this is the visceral layer. So in between those two layers, the space what you are having is the urinary space or the Bowman's space. So in this section what you can see here, so this entire thing is the glomerulus, this is the Bowman's capsule. So you can see the layers, so outermost you are having the parietal layer, inner is the visceral layer. So this parietal layer, you can see the cells what is present here, they are simple squamous cell, whereas the inner visceral layer, the cells what is present, they are called the podocytes. So the space between these two is called the Bowman's space or the urinary space. So these cells are called as the podocytes because they possess foot-like processes. So these processes give the cell a star-shaped appearance. The processes of podocytes wrap around the capillary loops and interdigitate with the food process of the neighboring podocytes. So this picture what you can see, this is the electron microscopic view. So here what you can see, so this is the podocyte, so this is the capillary. So what you can see is there are openings. So here there are openings between the food processes of the podocytes, and these openings are called the filtration slits. So each primary podocyte terminate into a number of secondary processes called as pedicles. So what you can see is small. So these are called the pedicles, or it is also called as the end feet, which are attached to the basement membrane of the capillary. So now coming to the glomerulus. So what you can see here, this entire thing is the glomerulus. It is an rounded tuft of anastomosing capillaries. So here you can see the blood is entering through the afferent arteriole. So this afferent arteriole will divide into number of capillaries, and these capillaries will join to form the efferent arteriole. So here we have to keep in mind that the efferent vessel is an arteriole and not an venule. So in this section what you can see, this entire thing, so this is the glomerulus, this is the Bowman's capsule, so this is the afferent arteriole. So the afferent arteriole and the efferent arteriole lies close together at a point, and that is referred to as the vascular pole. So here will be the vascular pole. of the renal corpuscle. And the opposite to the vascular pole, that is called the urinary pole. So in the renal corpuscle, you are having close to the afferent as well as the efferent arteriole, that will be forming the vascular pole, and opposite to this will form the urinary pole. Now coming to the nephron, we studied the renal corpuscle. Now coming on to the tubule. So the tubule of the nephron consists of proximal convoluted tubule, then loop of Henle, which consists of the descending limb, the loop, the ascending limb. Then you are having the distal convoluted tubule, then which ends by joining the collecting tubule. So this portion will be the collecting tubule. So the basement membrane of the parietal layer of Bowman's capsule is continuous with the basement membrane of the tubule. So along its entire length, the renal tubule is lined by a single layer of epithelial cells. Now we will study about the proximal convoluted tubule. So this is the largest part of the nephron and it is present in the cortex. So when you saw the kidney, we saw outer cortex, inner medulla. So this proximal convoluted tubule is present in the outer cortex portion of the kidney. It begins at the urinary pole of the renal corpuscle. So it begins at the urinary pole. The junction of proximal convoluted tubule with the glomerulus is narrow and this is referred to as the neck. The neck is lined by simple squamous epithelium. They are 40, so if you see this proximal convoluted tubule, it is around 40 to 60 mm in diameter. So if you see this diagram, so what you can see here, so all these are the proximal convoluted tubules. So this proximal convoluted tubule, so they are lined by simple cuboidal epithelium with microvilli. That is, it is having like brush border close towards the lumen. So they have a relatively very small lumen. The lumen what is present is very small. The nucleus of the cell is present in the center. So all these nucleus are present in the center of the cell. The cytoplasm stain pink in hematoxylin eosin staining. The basal part of the cell show vertical striations. So in this diagram, what you are seeing here, so coming to this loop of Henle. So this entire thing is forming the loop of Henle. So it is an U-shaped tube which arises from the proximal convoluted tubule. So if you see this, so this portion, so when you see the section, outermost you saw the cortex, inner is the medulla. So from the proximal convoluted tubule, it descends into the medulla and then returns back to the cortex and ends in the distal convoluted tubule. So it is having both the descending limbs as well as the ascending limb. So the descending limb begins as a continuation of the proximal convoluted tubule and ends at the bend of the loop. The ascending limb begins at the bend of the loop and ends in the distal convoluted tubule. So each limb is having thin as well as thick segments. So the thin part of descending limb, then the loop, then the thin part of ascending limb. It constitutes the thin segment. And the thick part of the descending limb, then the thick part of the ascending limb. They are called the thick segments. So the thin segment of the loop of Henle, what you are having here, so that is forming that is around 15 to 30 mm in diameter. So thin segment is lined by simple squamous epithelium and the thick segment is lined by cuboidal epithelium. So this there is lining of here, the thick segment is by the cuboidal epithelium and the thin segment, the lining is the simple squamous epithelium. The loop of Henle that is also called as ansa nephroni. ANSANEPHRONI, ansa nephroni. Now coming to the distal convoluted tubule. So it is present in the cortex. It is the continuation of the ascending limb of loop of Henle. So in this diagram what you saw, so this was the glomerulus, Bowman's capsule, these were the proximal convoluted tubule. So what you're seeing here, so these are the distal convoluted tubules. So here these cells do not have microvilli. They are not having the brush border type seen towards the lumen. So here the cells are 20 to 50 micrometer in diameter. They have a much larger lumen. So the lumen is larger comparing the lumen of the proximal convoluted tubule. So even in the staining, what you can see, it is pale staining, like it is light pink in color when stained with eosin. So the proximal convoluted tubule, the cells were darkly stained, whereas this, it is lightly stained. So in proximal convoluted tubule, you had a small lumen. Here there is large lumen. There the cells were having like brush border, like the microvilli present, whereas here there is absence of microvilli. Now coming to the collecting system, it is consisting of the collecting tubules. So these are the collecting tubules and these are the ducts. The distal convoluted tubule empties into the collecting tubule which pass through the medullary ray and join with other collecting tubule to form the larger duct, and this is called the duct of Bellini. So this larger duct enter the medullary pyramid. So this is the medullary pyramid. So they are entering the medullary pyramid. They pass through the renal papillae and open into the minor calyces. So in this picture what you can see here, so all these are forming the collecting tubules. So this collecting tubules, they are lined by cuboidal cells and the ducts are lined by the columnar cells. The collecting system is having pale staining cytoplasm. So if you see the staining in the proximal convoluted tubule and as well as the collecting tubule, so here it is, they are very pale staining cytoplasm is seen. Then the smallest collecting tubules are around 40 to 50 micrometer in diameter and the largest of it will measure up to 200 micrometer. So this collecting tubule will be having a large lumen. So they also do not have microvilli or they are not having any brush border type of cells seen in the towards the lumen. So this slide what you are seeing, so this slide is the slide of kidney. So you are having the proximal convoluted tubule which is darkly stained, then the distal convoluted tubule, glomerulus, Bowman's capsule, and all these are the collecting tubules. So also you are having very thin loops, that is called the loops of Henle, in which in the lumen there is nothing present in it. So this is how you are supposed to draw it in your record. So what you can see, the proximal convoluted tubule. So the staining should be more. In this diagram the staining is less, but in proximal convoluted tubule the staining should be more. It should be more eosinophilic stain. Then you are having here brush border, that is the microvilli which is present close towards the lumen. Then a small lumen. Then the nucleus of cell is present in the center. So if you see the distal convoluted tubule, so you can see a large lumen, then this should be pale stained comparing the proximal convoluted tubule. Then absence of brush border types of cells, that is absence of microvilli. Then what you are seeing here, so this is the glomerulus, this is the Bowman's capsule. Then here you are having the arterial afferent as well as the efferent arteriole. So this is called the vascular pole. Opposite to it will be the urinary pole. Then what you are seeing here, all these are the collecting ducts as well as the tubules. Then very thin loop of Henle. So this is how you are supposed to draw it in your record. So coming to the clinical importance, first is you're having glomerulonephritis. Here the glomeruli is being involved. Second is nephrotic syndrome. So in this condition, a lot amount of protein is being excreted in the urine. Third is you're having hydronephrosis. So in this condition, the renal pelvis is being enlarged in size due to the obstruction. Thank you for watching.